In this video, I just want to read the judgment passed by the Honorable Supreme Court of India, which has really captured the imagination of many people in India. The judgment is titled City Hounded by Strays, Kids Pay Price. This is the judgment talking about stray dogs, I believe, in Delhi. Let's find out what the judgment says. This is publicly available and reading it does not violate any copyright rules. So let's just read the judgment, and if there is something we do not understand, then we'll try to understand it as we read it. Number 1. We heard Mr. Gaurav Agrawal, the learned amicus, appointed by this court, and Mr. Tushar Mehta, the learned Solicitor General, appearing for the National Capital Region. Now, amicus means an impartial expert who advises the court. The learned amicus has provided us with some very important information. He assisted us today to the best of his ability to enable us to proceed further in the matter. The learned Solicitor General also assisted us very ably and submitted that stern action needs to be taken to combat the situation. He further submitted that the government of NCT of Delhi and all other authorities of the National Capital Region shall make all possible endeavours to ensure that the menace of dog bites is taken care of at the earliest, and appropriate action in the right direction is also taken at the earliest. What we have been able to gather after hearing both the learned counsel is that the situation is extremely grim. Immediate steps need be taken. Sometimes I'll mess up reading, so I'll have to repeat the sentence. Don't be bothered by that, please. Immediate steps need be taken to take care of the menace of dog bites leading to rabies. Number 4. In the course of the hearing today, the learned amicus furnished us with some information. The same reads thus. Note for hearing on 11th August 2025. Number 1. On the website of Press Information Bureau, data of number of dog bites for the years 2022, 2023, 2024 and January 2025 have been published. In the year 2024, there were 37,15,713 reported dog bites in the country. In Delhi alone, there were 25,201 dog bites. In the month of January 2025, in the city of Delhi, the number of dog bites were 3,196. The cases of dog bites have increased over the last 3 years as per the table below. If figures of January 2025 are any indication, the cases of dog bites are increased by 50%. Then we have some dog bite case data reported by states or union territories at IDSP from 2022 to January 2025, where we can see that in Delhi in 2022 there were 6,691 dog bite cases. In 2023 it jumped to 17,874. That's almost a tripling of the cases. Then in 2024 in Delhi there were 25,210 dog bite cases, and only in January of 2025 in Delhi there were 3,196 cases. In India in 2022 there were 21,89,909 dog bite cases. In 2023 it increased to 30,52,521 dog bite cases. In 2024 it increased further to 37,15,713 dog bite cases, and in January of 2025 it increased to it is 4,29,664 dog bite cases. Cases of dog bites are increasing because of the ever increasing population of stray dogs in our country. Dog bites causes immense pain and suffering to humans, especially to children, elderly and disabled persons. One has to thereafter undergo a very rigorous and timely process of taking multiple injections. If a person is not aware of the medical treatment, or if the injections are not genuine, it would result in a very painful death. Sometimes the person may not get necessary treatment in timely manner. The disease becomes incurable after 24 hours and results in a certain death. In a number of cases, stray dogs have attacked children, elderly persons and even adults, which have resulted in painful death to the victims at the spot or soon thereafter. Stray dogs are also a cause of large number of road accidents, which cause injuries or deaths of road users. Even if a person may not die of a dog bite, due to evasive action taken by him, he may fall down or hit another vehicle, resulting in death or injury. Hence, the presence of stray dogs on our streets or public places like airports, railway stations is a direct infringement of our fundamental rights under Articles 19(1)(d) and 21 of the Constitution of India. There cannot be any quarrel with the proposition that our streets or public places should be free from stray dogs. The Government of India's response to remedy this infringement of our fundamental rights is manifested in Animal Birth Control Dog Rules 2001 and recently after repeal of the 2001 rules in the Animal Birth Control Rules 2023 rules. The said rules have been framed in exercise of powers under Section 38(1) and 2 of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. These rules broadly provide that the local authority would provide for manpower and infrastructure for capturing of stray dogs, sterilization and immunization, and thereafter releasing the dogs at the very same place from where they were captured. This is the Rule 11 of 2023 rules. Rule 1119 is quoted herein below for ready reference. Capturing or sterilization or immunization or release. The dogs shall be released at the same place or locality from where they were captured, and the date, time, and place of their release shall be recorded after their complete recovery, and the representative of the local authority or of the animal welfare organization shall accompany the team at the time of release, and from time to time the board may provide a suitable application for geotagging the location of the dogs during capture and release. Even if the dog has bitten somebody, he has to be captured and observed. If the dog is found not to have rabies but some other diseases or is furious in nature, he has to be handed over to animal welfare organization who shall cure the diseases and release the dog after 10 days of observation. Rule 16.6 is quoted herein below for ready reference. This talks about the resolution of complaints regarding dog bites or rabid dogs. If the dog is found not to have rabies but some other disease or is furious in nature, then it would be handed over to the animal welfare organization who shall take the necessary action to cure and release the dog after 10 days of observation. Rule 15 of the rules provided for euthanasia of only incurably ill and mortally wounded dogs. These rules are perhaps premised on the fact that if dogs are sterilized, there would be no further progeny, and over time the stray dog population would somehow disappear. Further, if the dogs are immunized, they would not transmit rabies. There is some thought process that perhaps sterilization would reduce aggression and chances of dog bites may get reduced after sterilization. The increasing stray dog population and dog bites belie these assumptions. So, this clearly states that sterilization does not stop dog bites. It is humbly submitted that the 2023 rules, to the extent that they provide for release of dogs on the streets or colonies or public places after capture, are violative of our fundamental rights guaranteed under Articles 19(1)(d) and 21 of the Constitution. It is the duty of the central government, the state government, and the local authorities to ensure that the streets are free from stray dogs so that no human being is subjected to the pain and suffering or even death which is occasioned by an assault by stray dogs. There is absolutely no material to suggest that the sterilization would eliminate the chance of the dog biting. Putting the dog back on the street where there is grave harm to us is a direct violation of our fundamental rights to move freely without the fear of a dog bite or assault. The 2001 rules, which have been in operation since December 2001, miserably failed to control the dog population. In fact, the stray dog population and number of dog bites have increased tremendously. There is absolutely no reason to believe that the 2023 rules would do any better. It is rather strange that despite increasing dog bites, no active steps are contemplated by 2023 rules. Sterilization and immunization contemplated under the 2023 rules is no guarantee against biting by stray dogs. Therefore, it is not clear as to how the 2023 rules, even if fully implemented, would result in addressing the problem, which directly infringes the fundamental rights of large number of road users or those who frequent public spaces like airports, railway stations, etc. In almost all developed countries, there are no stray dogs on the streets. This shows that 2023 rules are totally inadequate and do not address the problem. If the rules continue to govern, it is certain that there would be exponential increase in stray dog population and consequential dog bites, putting the lives of our children at grave risk. Let me read this again. If the rules continue to govern, it is certain that there would be exponential increase in stray dog population and consequential dog bites, putting the lives of our children at grave risk. The 2023 rule somehow seems to suggest that the fundamental rights of stray dogs to roam around in the streets, attack human beings, and create public nuisance is at a higher pedestal than the fundamental rights of human beings. Time has come for this honorable court to clearly hold that stray dogs cannot be allowed to remain on streets, and all steps have to be taken to ensure that the streets or all public spaces are cleared of stray dogs. Recently, a constitution bench of this honorable court in Animal Welfare Board of India v Union of India 2023 9 SCC 322 has categorically held as follows. On the question of conferring fundamental rights on animals, we do not have any precedent. The division bench in A. Nagaraja, Animal Welfare Board of India v. A. Nagaraja 2014, also does not lay down that animals have fundamental rights. The only tool available for testing this proposition is interpreting the three Amendment Acts on the anvil. The only tool available for testing this proposition the only tool available for testing this proposition is interpreting the three Amendment Acts on the anvil of reasonableness in Article 14 of the Constitution of India. While the protection under Article 21 has been conferred on person as opposed to a citizen, which is the case in Article 19 of the Constitution, we do not think it will be prudent for us to venture into a judicial adventurism to bring bulls within the said protected mechanism. We have our doubt as to whether detaining a stray bull from the street against its wish could give rise to the constitutional writ of habeas corpus or not. In the judgment of A. Nagaraja, the question of elevation of the statutory in the judgment of A. Nagaraja, the question of elevation of the statutory rights of animals to the realm of fundamental rights has been left at the advisory level or has been framed as a judicial suggestion. We do not want to venture beyond that and leave this exercise to be considered by the appropriate legislative body. We do not think Article 14 of the Constitution can also be invoked by any animal as a person. While we can test the provisions of an animal welfare legislation, that would be at the instance of a human being or a juridical person who may espouse the cause of animal welfare. As we proceed on the basis that the Constitution does not recognize any fundamental right for animals, we shall have to test the legality of the three statutes against the provisions of the 1960 Act along with the constitutional provisions of Articles 48, 51A, G and H. When there is a direct infringement of fundamental rights of human beings, especially under Article 21, the state is duty bound to take all steps to prevent such infringement. Unfortunately, the 2023 rules perpetuate the said infringement rather than prevent the violation of the fundamental rights of the human beings. Number of municipal laws and police laws in the country provide for confinement and even destruction of stray dogs. The relevant portions of some of the municipal or police acts are Section 399 of the Delhi Municipal Corporation Act 1957, Section 44 of Maharashtra Police Act 1968, and Sections 249 and 373 of Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation 1955. In foreign countries, there are provisions for destruction of stray dogs if there is no owner or if nobody comes for adoption of the stray dog. Destruction of stray dogs. Okay. The exercise that we propose to undertake is not to be performed in a casual manner. The burning issue that we have embarked upon is not driven by a momentary impulse. On the contrary, it is only after the deepest of deliberations and having reached the firm conclusion about the systematic failure of the concerned authorities over the past 2 decades to address an issue that strikes at the heart of public safety that we have decided to take the matter in our hands. We have, over a considerable period of time, examined the prevailing circumstances, heard the voices of those who have been directly affected, and reflected upon a disturbing pattern of dog bites in this country. Now is not the time for any resistance or hesitation born of complacency. It is a time for decisive and collective action and to confront the realities of our society. If we fail to act with urgency, we risk allowing yet another 2 decades to slip into the ledger of neglect, leaving future generations to inherit the same problems and the same dangers. We are conscious and sensitive of coexistence. The idea behind coexistence is not the existence of one's life at the cost of the other. In the case in hand, we are attempting to flag the experience of those who use the streets daily. Streets should not prove to be vulnerable places. Among a bundle of concerns, we are at pains to take cognizance of the experiences of visually impaired persons, young children, elderly persons, people from humble background who are not able to afford even a day's meal, let alone the medical expenses. The visually impaired persons are at the highest risk of dog bites as their primary support. Their canes are seen as threats by the dogs. Young children are susceptible to dog bites, due to which parents find it very difficult to allow the children to navigate on streets on their own. We have come across concerns of elderly persons being attacked by we have come across concerns of elderly persons being attacked by rambunctious dogs. Rambunctious. I've heard this term in Django Unchained used by Leonardo DiCaprio. Rambunctious. Rambunctious means uncontrollably exuberant, boisterous. We have come across concerns of elderly persons being attacked by rambunctious dogs. We are not casting aspersions, but there is no way one can identify or classify between a rabies carrying dog and others. More particularly, the situation is worse when it comes to persons who are forced to sleep on the streets. It is painstaking to note the pangs of such persons who neither have the knowledge of the consequences of dog bites nor have any precautionary or post exposure measures accessible to them. It is often said that no person is above the law. However, of equal significance is the flip side of that maxim: no person is below the law either. The protection, dignity, and security that the law affords are not privileges conferred at the discretion of those in authority. They are rights inherent to every individual, regardless of station, circumstance, or means. Obedience to the law is not solicited as an act of grace nor extended as a favor. It is commanded and demanded as a matter of right. Reciprocally, the assurance of the law's protection is owed as a matter of duty. To forget this is to hollow out the very purpose of the rule of law, reducing it to an instrument that speaks only to the powerful while turning a deaf ear to the powerless. The true test of a legal order lies not in how firmly it restrains those at the top, but in how faithfully it safeguards those at the margins. In light of the concerns of the interveners, we urge all to adopt and give dogs a shelter in their homes. However, we do not ascribe to the virtue signaling of all those who share love and concern for the animals. A virtual divide is being attempted to be created between animal lovers and persons indifferent towards animals. But the heart of the problem remains unanswered for all practical reasons. As a court, our heart pains equally for everyone. We condemn those who, beneath the cloak of love and care for the voiceless, pursue the warmth of self congratulation. The directions given by us as a court, which functions for the welfare of the people, are both in the interest of humans as well as dogs. This is not personal. The judiciary must not assume or take on the coloration of the prevailing popular sentiments of the time, for its role is not to echo the passions of the moment, but to uphold the enduring principles of justice, conscience, and equity. As the sentinel on the qui vive, this is sentinel on the lookout, I believe it means. As the sentinel on the qui vive, a guardian of rights, the judiciary bears the solemn responsibility to possess the courage and the strength to remind the people of truths that they may not like or prefer not to hear. At the same time, being conscious about the genuine love and care towards stray dogs that many stakeholders of the public share, we urge them to come forward and become a part of this exercise, to adorn the care and upkeep of the stray dogs responsibly at the dog shelters or pounds, to volunteer their valuable time and resources towards the proper functioning of such shelters or pounds and assisting the concerned authorities therein. In such circumstances referred to above, as a part of immediate action, the following directions: Number 1. The Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi NCT, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi MCD, and the New Delhi Municipal Corporation NDMC and authorities of Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram, and Faridabad shall at the earliest start picking up stray dogs from all localities, more particularly the vulnerable localities of the city as well as areas on the outskirts. How to do it is for the authorities to look into. For this, if they have to create a force, they shall do it at the earliest. However, this should be the first and foremost exercise to make all localities within the state and its outskirts free of stray dogs. Number 2. There should not be any lethargy or compromise in undertaking this exercise. If any individual or any organization comes in the way of forceful picking up of the stray dogs and rounding them up, and if it is reported to us, we shall proceed to take the strictest of actions against any such resistance which may be offered. We are issuing these directions keeping only one thing in mind, and that is the larger public interest. Infants, young children, aged should not at any cost fall prey to such dog bites that have the propensity to lead to one of the deadliest diseases known to mankind, if not the most, that is, rabies. The action should inspire confidence in the minds of people, young and old, that they can move freely and safely on the roads and vicinity of their own homes without any fear of being bitten by a stray dog or a pack of dogs. No sentiments should be involved in this entire exercise. This should be the first step in the process. Number 3. The Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi NCT, Municipal Corporation Delhi MCD, New Delhi Municipal Corporation NDMC, and the appropriate authorities of Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram, and Faridabad are directed to immediately create dog shelters or pounds and report to this court the creation of such infrastructure all over the national capital region within a period of 8 weeks from today. Number 4. The dog shelters or pounds should have sufficient personnel to sterilize, deworm, and immunize stray dogs, and also for looking after the stray dogs who would be detained there and not released on the streets or colonies or public places. The dog shelters would be monitored by CCTV to ensure that no dogs are released or taken out. Number 5. We are mindful of the fact that the exercise of rounding up and relocation of the stray dogs in the shelters and pounds carries concerns over the well being of such stray dogs. We are sympathetic to their lives as well. Accordingly, we make it clear to all authorities concerned and the personnel deployed at such shelters or pounds that at no stage should these dogs be subjected to any mistreatment, cruelty, or deplorable standards of care. In lieu of this, we direct all the concerned authorities to ensure that there is no overcrowding at the dog shelters or pounds, and all measures shall be taken promptly for avoiding such a situation. The stray dogs who are brought to these shelters or pounds shall not be starved, and it shall be the duty of the concerned officials or authorities to ensure that they are adequately and regularly fed. The stray dogs who are brought to these shelters or pounds shall at no point of time be left completely unmonitored. In this regard, the concerned authorities must ensure that at least two responsible personnel are present at the shelter or pound at all times, and proper duty schedule should be drawn up to ensure the same. Apart from the above, timely medical care should be provided by trained veterinarians to all the stray dogs, and the vulnerable and weak stray dogs should be accommodated separately within the shelter or pound as far as possible. Number 6. We further clarify that it would be open to the concerned authorities to decide the viability of implementing an adoption scheme in respect of the stray dogs that would be kept at the shelters or pounds. However, any such adoption must take place only after a careful consideration and in terms of the standard protocol for adoption of community animals dated 17/5/2022 issued by the Animal Welfare Board of India and any other condition that the concerned authorities find necessary to impose for such adoption to ensure that the entire exercise envisaged by us is not defeated. At the cost of repetition, we make it clear that no such adoption, if any, should result in the re release of a stray dog back onto the streets. If we find even a single infraction of such kind, we will proceed to take the strictest of action against the official responsible as well as the individual. Number 7. Since this is a progressive exercise, that is, the dog shelters would have to be increased over a period of time, authorities concerned shall begin by creating dog shelters for, say, 5,000 dogs in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Number 8. All the authorities referred to above are directed to maintain records of daily stray dogs captured as well the number of dogs housed in shelters, homes, or dog pounds. Such records shall be produced before us on the next date of hearing. However, what is important is, without which this entire exercise which we have undertaken may go futile, that not a single dog picked up from any part of the locality shall be released back on the streets or public spaces. If we come to know that this has happened, we shall take stern action in this regard. Number 9. We clarify that in this entire exercise, the above mentioned records shall be maintained regularly by the concerned authorities, such that in the event this court finds any infraction of the directions issued herein, necessary action shall be taken. In this regard, proper measures should be taken for earmarking the stray dogs who have been captured for the purpose of later identification, such that none of them are released back onto the streets. Number 10. We direct the authorities referred to above to create helpline number within a period of 1 week from today so that all cases of dog bites are immediately reported. Action must be taken to round up or pick up or catch the dogs within 4 hours from the complaint being received. Any resistance offered by any individual or organizations in this regard will be viewed strictly, and we may proceed for contempt against such individual or organizations coming in the way of this court. Number 11. The stray dogs shall be captured, sterilized, dewormed, and immunized as required by Animal Birth Control Rules 2023 and as noted above, shall not be released under any circumstances. Number 12. The authorities concerned shall inform the victim of the medical authorities so that the victim is treated immediately. Number 13. Report in this regard shall be presented before us on the next date of hearing. Number 14. Availability of rabies vaccines is a major concern, especially genuine vaccine. So the court is basically saying that there are spurious vaccines available, vaccines that are not genuine. Very interesting. Availability of rabies vaccines is a major concern, especially genuine vaccine. The authorities concerned, more particularly the government of NCT of Delhi, is directed to put detailed information about the places where such vaccines are available, full stock of the vaccines, and the number of persons who report for treatment on monthly basis. For the present, the aforesaid directions shall be complied with and implemented scrupulously. We, at the cost of repetition, again make it abundantly clear to the above concerned authorities in clear words that it shall at the earliest start picking up and rounding the stray dogs from all localities of Delhi, Ghaziabad, Noida, Faridabad, Gurugram, as well as areas on the outskirts, and relocate these dogs into designated shelters or pounds. The appropriate authorities of NCT of Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram, and Faridabad are directed to immediately create dog shelters or pounds and report to this court the creation of such infrastructure all over the national capital region. A report in this regard shall be filed before this court within a period of 8 weeks. In no circumstances should these stray dogs, after their relocation, be once again released back onto the streets. In this regard, proper records should be maintained by the concerned authorities regularly. The stray dog shall be captured, sterilized, dewormed, and immunized as required by Animal Birth Control Rules 2023 and as noted above shall not be released back. I don't know why they are repeating this again and again. The dog shelters or pounds should have sufficient personnel to sterilize, deworm, and immunize stray dogs, and also for looking after the stray dogs who would be detained. We further make it clear that both the exercise of rounding up of stray dogs as well as the creation of necessary infrastructure in the form of shelters or pounds for the relocation, sterilization, deworming, and immunization shall be undertaken simultaneously. We do not want to hear about even a semblance of lethargy from the concerned authorities on the pretext of awaiting the creation of shelters or pounds, otherwise, we will proceed to take strict action against these authorities. All authorities are directed to immediately begin the picking up stray dogs. I think that's a grammatical mistake there. All authorities are directed to immediately begin the picking up of stray dogs. I suppose should have been, but it's written picking up stray dogs. Let's just read it again. As it is there, all authorities are directed to immediately begin the picking up stray dogs and in the same breath creation of appropriate and adequate shelter homes and pounds across the national capital region. Should have been breadth or breadth, I don't know. So let's read the potentially grammatically inaccurate sentence here. All authorities are directed to immediately begin the picking up stray dogs and in the same breath creation of appropriate and adequate shelter homes and pounds across the national capital region. Any hindrance or obstruction that may be caused by any individual or organization in the smooth and effective implementation of our aforesaid directions will be viewed as contempt of this court and we shall proceed to take appropriate action in accordance with law. Since this is an ongoing exercise, we are not at this stage inclined to entertain any intervention applications that have been filed before us. We first want to hear from the concerned authorities as to what they have to say and the progress made by them. Once these relevant details are placed before us by the concerned authorities, we will take into consideration the intervention applications before us on their own merits. During the course of the hearing, we were apprised about the pendency of a writ petition being WPC number 67 of 2023 titled Parthima Devi v. Municipal Corporation Delhi before the High Court of Delhi, wherein a similar initiative of construction of a dog shelter or pound by the municipal corporation was stayed by the High Court. Keeping in mind the similitude of issues involved in the aforesaid matter and the case in hand, we are of the view that the aforesaid petition should be heard by this court. In such circumstances, we direct the High Court of Delhi to transfer WPC number 67 of 2023 titled Parthima Devi v. Municipal Corporation Delhi to this court along with the entire record at the earliest. Notify this matter once again with an appropriate status report along with all the intervention applications after a period of 4 weeks on top of the port. The justices involved here are J.B. Pardiwala and R. Mahadevan. So, what do I have to say about this judgment? I think the argument in favor of rounding up of dogs is quite compelling. It has also been stated categorically that all the points that have been followed till now should be followed, like sterilization and deworming and immunization, but dogs should not be released back onto the streets or public spaces. That is the important change, I believe. The existing rules mandated sterilization, vaccination, and all that, but it also mandated releasing the dogs back onto the streets, back into the public spaces. This judgment clearly states that dogs should not be released back onto the streets. They should be kept in dog shelters or pounds, and if people really want to take care of stray dogs, then they should adopt them or they should monitor the condition of the dog shelters. So, I believe the gist of the judgment is that dogs belong inside homes or in dog shelters, not on the streets, as is the case in most developed countries of the world. My only the only bone I have to pick with the judgment is that why did they restrict it only to Delhi-NCR? Why only National Capital Region? Why not the entire country? Perhaps they are starting it with Delhi NCR, and based on the feedback they receive, based on the success of this endeavor, they will expand it to the rest of the country. Because I do believe that we don't only want Delhi NCR to be free of stray dogs. The arguments in the judgment are quite compelling. Stray dogs are a menace, and clearly, sterilization is not proving to be effective to prevent dog bites, to control the population of dogs, stray dogs in particular. So, why uh, restrict the exercise to Delhi NCR? Shouldn't the entire country be rid of this menace? So that's the um, only point of disagreement I have. Perhaps they want to take it in a incremental manner, start with Delhi NCR and then expand it to the rest of the country. Um, let's see what happens. I also believe that yes, dogs do bite. It is something which we can see reflected in the official data, but bites can also happen with the other animals. There are monkeys, and then there are cats, and I believe those animals are also quite a big menace in many parts of the country. So after this stray dog menace has been dealt with effectively, I think we should also look at the menace of cats, both small cats, and in many big cities we have seen the incursion of leopards, and they are certainly very dangerous, not just for human beings but also for the existing stray dogs who are still roaming the streets of those places. So I think human animal conflict, we should always take the side of humans, because we should protect ourselves from the conflict with animals, and we should do it in a way that the animals are not exterminated, but we have to ensure that human suffering is alleviated to the maximum possible extent. I'm looking forward to this endeavor being successful in Delhi NCR, and I hope this will be expanded to the rest of the country, and India shall be rid of the menace of stray dogs and rabies. Looking forward to that.